Hello everybody, back once again with an update video. I don't think I've done a video in about 2 months or so. I've been picking up bits here and there, so I thought rather than do one each month and I'd only picked up say 5 like big boxes or something, it's better to wait and do them all at once. Spent quite a lot of money in the last couple of weeks on, well, last couple of months should I say, but especially the last few weeks with some releases that I'll show you. So probably do another update in a month or two, depending how many I buy, but try not to spend too much. I must have spent a few hundred, I think, since the last update. All right, so first I got some arrows. So you got True Romance, Tony Scott film, which is the brother of Ridley Scott, which I didn't actually know until quite recently. He has done quite a lot of good films. I still say Ridley Scott is better. It's got Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken, so quite an all-star cast. I've not actually seen this one before, but I've heard good things about it. I think it's directed by Tony Scott, but I think it's written or co-written by, what's his name? Quentin Tarantino, so I'm sure it's got like quite a sharp script. It's known to have a lot of quotable moments. That one I got in the Arrow sale for £9 a little while ago. HMV, Lover's Lane with the slipcover. Not heard too much about this. I heard it's an alright slasher, but obviously other than the obvious slashers like Friday the 13th, The Burning, Chopping Mall, whatever you call it, I not really heard of this one and had alright reviews, so I thought I'd give it a chance. But again, this was in the Arrow sale. I think that was £9. So some of those I probably won't pick them up in HMV for 18 quid, which they're asking for, but sort of £9, I don't mind paying those prices. And then you've got The Last House on the Left. See if I can slip the top out. 4K. This is the remake. I think this is a lot better than the original. The original, I guess for its time, was quite sort of shocking and sort of trend-setting, but like a lot of people have said, I find the angle with the two police, it just doesn't work. It's not only that they're too comical, it's just compared to maybe they were meant to be the comic relief. I think it's meant to be an allegory on how bad police are and that they do nothing, but you could have made it serious and then bungling, or, just not looking into the case and stuff instead of just having them as like comedy. It didn't really work as comedy relief because they weren't funny, they were just annoying. But yeah, I don't think it worked in the tone, whereas this one, I can't actually remember if it's got the police or not, but they're not sort of as bungling and annoying as they were in the first. And what's her name in this? Does it say there? Sarah Paxton, which was also in The Innkeepers. She's really good. I really like her. Good actress. Yeah, it's quite sort of disturbing and brutal. It's more sort of realistic, I'd say, than the old 70s original, but maybe a bit more brutal in terms of the violence, but I guess that's the way it is up to modern day kind of stuff. Yeah, so that one I got HMV. All of these are, well, most of them I got from HMV, I'll specify, but that one, I think I paid about 18 or so for that when it first came out, but obviously it is 4K, so don't mind too much. This one I got in CX, whatever you call it, Videodrome. I've got the original Videodrome. I've seen this one, it's quite rare to get hold of. So it's got the David Cronenberg, The Early Works, which I've got on a separate Blu Ray, but mine's like the jewel case, whereas this is like it's got a cardboard opening one. It's got a booklet in it, quite a big book as you can see, and then the actual Videodrome discs. Got a lot more content than the original one I had. I've got it on DVD, I've got the Arrow Blu-ray, I've got a few versions of Videodrome. Probably my favourite, well, I'd say The Fly is a better film by Cronenberg. A bit more sort of mainstream, but with some gore and body horror, whereas this, I sort of like the style of how it's like a channel with snuff flicks, and even though it was made, 30 years or so ago, it is quite sort of prevalent nowadays. Obviously with all the reality TV show and then the dark web and stuff. Yeah, really good. Yeah, it's probably my favourite Cronenberg film. Got this in CX. I think it was about 35 quid, but obviously it's out of print. It's really hard to get hold of on Amazon and that. You just can't get it for any kind of money. And obviously having David Cronenberg Early Works and the Videodrome, it's not too bad a price. But yeah, I didn't like paying that much for it, but I was like, if I don't, I'm not going to get it, and not in that kind of good condition. Doesn't have the little J card on the front, but sometimes I take the J cards off and store them in the cupboard because I find they do get bent and crushed when you're putting them sort of up on the rack together. This is one of the newest ones I got only the other day, so Carlito's Way. I have seen this, but not for a long time. This is a 4K. Let's see if I can get the disc out a sec. Have a little look. Yeah, so a nice 4K Ultra. It's obviously reversible with the classic artwork. A lot of special features. So it's Al Pacino and what's he called? Sean Penn. Although I didn't actually recognise it, Sean Penn, when you first see him. Plays like a Jewish lawyer and he looks really different, got like curly hair and things. Directed by Brian De Palma, who's a really good director. Yeah, I've seen it a long time ago when I was younger. I can't really remember it too much, but no, it's a really good film. So nice for Arrow to put that one out, because obviously a lot of what they put out is cult films, whereas that's quite a sort of big, well-known film. Got the House Collection. Got this one in HMV in the Arrow sale as well. I think it's reduced from 50 to about 25 or 45 down to 25. Yeah, about 24.99 I paid for that with all the 4 House films. I've watched them all now. I've only seen the first one before. First one's maybe the best. Second one, pretty bizarre, more of a comedy, sort of in the Wild West almost. Third one isn't even really a house film. It's more just like a serial killer gets an electric chair, comes back from the dead to wreak revenge. A bit like Shocker by Wes Craven, but I'd say this is better. Got some really gory, crazy moments. Guy that plays the villain, I can't think of his name at the moment, really good. And then House 4, the repossession, sorry. This was like I think it was like a straight to TV film. It feels like it, but I was thinking whole way through it feels like a straight to TV film. Not in the quality. The acting's really good. The script's really good. One of the most entertaining, I'd say, other than number 1, or maybe even over number 1. It might be my favourite. Really good acting and things, but and it's got what's his name, William Catt back in it. But the main thing, I think, what I kept on triggering my brain thinking it was a TV movie. The score is done by his name Angelo Badalamenti, which is the does the score for Twin Peaks. And it's got very similar music and mood, so I think that's why I kept on thinking, like, this reminds me of a TV show, but a really well-made one, not some, like, crappy kind of, what's it they call it in America, like Lifetime, where it's, like, kind of drama film. It never feels like that. A few of the effects ain't too great, but, yeah, I think it's pretty low budget. But, yeah, I was quite surprised. All of them are quite good. I'd say out of a lot of horror, what would you call them, like, not on the book, horror series, even Friday 13th, Halloween's got its ups and downs, whereas I'd say that's one of the more consistent. And then this one, really happy to get this. I had to order this one off of Amazon because they just didn't have it in HMV. I think it was all already pre-ordered. So you've got Psycho 1, 2, 3, 4 and the booklet all on 4K. Little slip cover comes off. I won't open it too much because it's a bit of a pain to sort of open it with one hand on the camera. I think I'm going to turn the cases around. So obviously at the moment I've got the new artwork, but I do think the original artwork does look more classic. Scene 1, obviously I think most people seen that, a classic black and white one. Psycho 2 I actually really enjoyed, thought maybe it was better than number 1. Well, not a better film, but more entertaining. Psycho 3 and 4 I haven't seen, but I've heard good things. Psycho 3 a lot of people say is up there with 1 and 2, and then 4 they say is a sort of straight to TV, but still quite good quality and enjoyable. Yeah, so I think that was £50 off Amazon, and you get 2 discs in the Psycho 4. One's not different cuts, but one's the what do you call it? One's like the cinema version, and one's like the TV one. So it's just a different aspect ratio, I think. Usually I change it on my TV, but yeah, it's between 5 discs and a booklet in this nice set for 50 quid. Looking at like less than £10 per 4K disc, which I think is quite good value. Then I've got this Pope's Exorcist. I think I said about this in the last video. I had my eye on this to get. But usually I like to buy Blu Ray or 4K, but this only came out on DVD, and I looked online on like YouTube to rent it or buy it, and it was about the same price just to sort of watch it once or whatever as it was to buy it. So yeah, really impressed with this. It's a bit more of a drama than a horror, but Russell Crowe's really good. His Italian accent's like believable. Some really sort of crazy, creepy scenes. Yeah, one of the better Exorcist films outside of The Exorcist 1, Exorcist 3, and The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Then you've got Taxi Hunter, starring Anthony Wong. This is a cat-free film directed by Herman Yao. Not actually seen this one yet, but heard good things about it, where basically a guy's family, I think, gets killed by a taxi driver. So he hunts down every taxi driver in the city and kills them. Kind of what you'd expect from cat-free, including this one, The Untold Story, aka The Bun Man. Heard a lot about this years ago at one of the most disturbing, shocking films out of all the cat-free, up there with Ebola syndrome, but I'd never seen it or really been able to get a good cut of it. But this is uncut, special edition with a little book, really good. Yeah, I mean, some of these films, you hear about them, and because they're old, when you watch them, they don't stand up in terms of like the shockingness. Whereas there's a scene later, I won't spoil it, but with a family is all I'm going to say, where he's sort of going mad, and that is like pretty, I wouldn't say hard to stomach, you know, it didn't like give me nightmares, but quite shocking. I was like, how did this get through uncut? Really good performance from Anthony Wong, except for in the start when he's wearing like a dodgy wig, but obviously he might be a different character. And then I'm on to my second sights. So you've got A Banquet. Not really heard too much about that film before, but read some reviews and it seems quite good. I think it's a horror, but a bit more of a drama, but looks quite messed up, quite like an art house kind of film. And obviously this is like the big box. I think this was about $24.99 or so. I think got that in HMV. Got this one in HMV. Monster, really good film. One of Charlize Theron's best films. You can't even know it's her. The way they've like done her makeup and sort of gave her freckles, and she just don't look as attractive as normal. But this is about, I think her name's Eileen Wuornos, which was a real life serial killer in Australia. It's following her story. It's got Bruce Dern in it, Christina Ricci. Not actually sure it's directed by, but yeah, more of a sort of drama crime film than a horror, but yeah, really well made film. A few quite sort of shocking moments. Not really a spoiler to say, obviously she kills men and things in it. She's like a prostitute. You got Crimes of the Future. I think this I paid about £41 for in HMV, but it is the 4K, and the special normal box is 35. The 4K was about 25. And the standard, the Blu Ray, just obviously that comes out of the slipcase version, was about 18. So although it's quite a lot, it wasn't too bad value compared. But yeah, David Cronenberg's newest film. Never really heard anything about this until I seen it was coming out on second sight. Visually amazing, quite disturbing, crazy sort of visuals going on, but the plot, I mean, it's meant to be hard to understand. And I like weird films, but this was weird, and not even weird in like a kind of El Topo, Hausu kind of surreal way, but just weird to follow the plot. And say it kind of has a similar feeling to Infinity Pool by Brandon Cronenberg, David's son. I'd say maybe that's a slightly better film than this, a bit more cohesive, but yeah, it's worth a watch just for the visuals and things alone. Some amazing like filmmaking, and the acting by Viggo Mortensen especially is great. But yeah, not one of Cronenberg's best films, but better than the one he did before. Was it Metropolis or something? There's a bit more underground and horrifying than that. I don't think I've shown these next two before, but I haven't gone back to look at my last one to see exactly. But Frontiers, French film, kind of like an action horror from the French extreme wave. Really quite disturbing, some really brutal gore. Yeah, one of my favourites. I only literally watched this on DVD about a week before it came out on this second sight version, so I haven't watched it again since, but I'm sure it's a good transfer in that. And then May, I think this is one of the most slept on, underrated sort of modern horror films, directed by Lucky McKee, who does The Woman and things as well. Angela Bettis, is she called? Really good performance. You got Jeremy Sisto. You got what's her name? The lady from, can't see, Nicole Hiltz, is she called? Yeah, I think so. She's the one from Scary Movie. She plays like a really sexy kind of temptress in this, and every scene she's like chewing up scenery. But yeah, that's the new ones I've got. So feel free to comment on anything if you want to know more. And now I've got about 11 or so of these second sights, mostly big boxes. So I'm going to maybe do a video showing you all of those. Right, thanks for watching, everybody. I've nearly run out of time on the video. See you again. Bye.